A pile of shame is a collection of games a person has purchased but not played. Mine is substantial. This is PILEDIVER. Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, knows the value of unanswered questions. It takes place in a future Earth wrecked by a great war, and it doesn't tell you too much about it. There are hardly any people in the game, and it doesn't tell you where they've gone. And when the one question that had been really bugging me the entire time finally gets posed, it's not treated with the respect it deserves.
You use a lot of hair product.
What?
That honestly did make me sad. As for those other questions, I don't need them answered. Developer Ninja Theory cracked apart New York and the American Midwest, and they let unfettered plant life bloom through the gaps. I don't need the details or the hows. I don't want those questions answered. But I do wish this game did a better job asking questions of me. Enslaved takes inspiration from 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. Now, I haven't read the source material, but I have read Wikipedia, so I can tell you its characters share names with characters from the novel, and they are on a journey, and they are going west, so that seems like a good start. Then again, I don't think there was so much robot fighting in the book, and I doubt the original Chinese characters looked this white, so there's some artistic license happening here too. It's a loose adaptation. The game starts with your player character, Monkey, escaping a slave ship with a mysterious woman named Trip. Monkey awakens from the crash landing to find Trip has put a high-tech slave headband on him. If he disobeys her command or strays too far from her, the headband inflicts pain. If she dies, the headband kills him too. For her, it's a necessity of circumstance. If Monkey can get Trip across the dangerous terrain and back to her free colony in the West, she promises to set him free. The gameplay itself is a mixture of action, platforming, and partner mechanics. When robots appear, you fight them with your staff. Between battles, you and Trip are working your way across the environment. Some of this involves Monkey flipping, swinging, and parkouring around crumbly buildings. At other times, Monkey and Trip work in tandem. You launch Trip up onto a platform, and she uses her new position to unlock a path for Monkey. The game builds Trip's enslavement of Monkey into the mechanics, and it seems they can only succeed by working together. But then the game doesn't commit to that. Trip is around when you need her, but absent when you don't. Like this section, when Monkey tells her to wait in a literal dumpster while he goes leaping around on buildings. If they really needed each other, being separated would feel debilitating, but it's not. You do just fine. Since Trip only matters when the game needs something functional from her, the relationship between her and Monkey feels perfunctory. So when the cutscenes and dialogue try to grow that relationship, the progress doesn't feel real. Like at one point, I took down a boss and Trip says,
"You did it!"
And then Monkey goes,
The truth is, we did it.
but that's not true. That's not true because before the battle, Monkey put Trip under some other wreckage and then absolutely fought the boss by himself. Sure, she shouted out that I should use stun blasts, but stun ammo was carpeting the ground and that was pretty self-evident anyway. It was supposed to be a poignant bonding moment for the two, but it's not earned, it doesn't work. But the biggest weakness of Enslaved is in how little it asks of the player. Take the platforming. Monkey is an agile character, but can only grasp onto these flashing hold points. They're usually all lined up, with seldom more than one within reach, so the player doesn't consider where to go. There's only one way to go, and rarely any reason to wait, so just mash the A button and watch Monkey do sweet flips. And the flips are sweet, but they don't ask any meaningful investment of the player. Same for the combat. If you can get around a robot's shield, just wail on them until they go down. It makes for an experience that looks appealing, but plays absent-mindedly. Now, Enslaved actually turns this around in the back half as the game starts giving you questions worth considering. You have to figure out patterns and gouts of flame to time your movement. You need to save a new companion, but you're also being attacked, so if you finish off your enemies first, will you still have time for the rescue? Or should you run around and risk getting hit from behind? It's an improvement and it's great, but it's also not worth finishing the first half of the game to get to the second. Between the story and the gameplay, there are a lot of interesting concepts that emerge in the game's second half, but they aren't properly built up to, they aren't properly supported. They're not worth the work to get there in the first place. I read that after this game didn't meet sales expectations, a potential sequel was cancelled. I may not have loved this game, but I do wish I could have seen a sequel happen. Enslaved came out 9 years ago, and design has evolved since then. Ninja Theory itself has done much better, with its Devil May Cry reboot setting a high bar for the hot doofus action genre. I love this setting, and it really does deserve another shot. Not to answer questions about itself, but to better ask questions of the player. With one exception, I still want to know how much product Monkey uses.